One of our favorite sponsors is back with us, Sunset Lake CBD.
Yeah.
If you're looking for CBD that actually does what CBD is supposed to do, look no further than our friends over at Sunset Lake.
Let me break it down.
Break it down, Mel.
They're sustainably farmed, meaning they avoid pesticides and use sustainable farming practices to preserve the land for future generations. 1. 2, farm to table. They ship the CBD products straight from their door in Vermont directly to your door wherever you're at.
Now that's cool.
And third party tested. They test everything with a third party to ensure quality, dosage, and safety.
You got to go over and check out sunsetlakecbd.com. They have so many products. Break it down for them, Apple.
Well, they've got some new stuff going on. Like they always had pre-rolls, but now they got really cool packaging for it. And you can get CBD pre-roll flights of all their flavors. You can get the heavy hitter flight that also throws in some of their Keef blunts. They have a new CBD recovery body lotion.
I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other?
The other one with arnica.
The extra strength muscle rub, 3,000 milligram with 5% lidocaine.
So look,
Oh, yeah,
if you're
lidocaine.
sore, this is the stuff you want to rub on your body to make those aches and pains go away. They even have CBD infused coffee, so you can have coffee without the little jitter that you get from caffeine, and you have it in the morning and you start your day off right. Your body feels lubricated. You're going to sleep good.
Yeah, and also they have, if you kind of forget to reorder, they've got subscriptions.
And they're giving the No Simple Road family 20% off.
20% off.
Put
with
in the promo code NSR20 when you're checking out at sunsetlakecbd.com. You're going to get 20% off your entire order.
NSR20.
And don't forget those cute little gummy bears.
That's right. sunsetlakecbd.com, one of our favorite sponsors, is back. Hey everybody, we wanted to let you know that on December 7th, No Simple Road is hosting the No Simple Road Holiday Get Down at the Get Down. That's right.
What does that mean at the Get Down?
That means that we're getting down at the Get Down for the holidays, Mel.
Good.
With members of Bodhi Mojo, Lost Ox, World's Finest, Garcia Birthday Band, Sponge, Family Mystic, and us. It's a Portland supergroup, if you will. It's going to play Grateful Dead music, and we're going to talk, and we're going to have games. It's going to be fun. I even heard Old Jolly St. Nick might make an appearance. So go get your tickets now. Uh-oh, there he is now. Go get your tickets now at thegetdownpdx.com or at nosimpleroad.com. Early bird tickets are still available right now until the 10th. So go over there, grab them, come hang out with us. This is the one holiday party you won't want to leave early.
No Simple Road. Yeah, here we go.
I know what I'm doing.
You like cozy?
You
I
did
do.
it? Okay.
I like cozy. I do.
Is there supposed to be 5 still?
Yeah, it's fine. It's good. Hey now, No Simple Road family. What's happening? This is Aaron.
This is Mel.
It's Apple.
And Joe.
Hey. And
Welcome, Joe.
You're here with us for another edition of the No Simple Road Weekly Rewind. And we have a special announcement for everybody.
It's Aaron's birthday month.
Nope, that's not
Woo.
it. This episode of the No Simple Road Weekly Rewind is brought to you in collaboration with the Edible Beats.
The Edible Beats is back.
Out of Denver, Colorado.
Wow.
Yes, our friends over at the Edible Beats, owners of Ophelia's Root Down, L5,
Linger.
Root Down,
PD and not
PDX.
PDX.
Airport.
Denver Airport. They are back with No Simple Road, collaborating with us on the Weekly Rewind. We would like to welcome them back. If you do not know who the Edible Beats is, I implore you to take a moment of your life and go search them out on the intertubes and see how amazing they are, what they're doing for their employees, the food that they create, the atmospheres that they make, the shows that they put on, all the amazing, amazing stuff that the Edible Beats does. Welcome back to being part of the No Simple Road trip.
Heck
and
yeah.
we're stoked
Yes.
to have y'all.
We are.
And thank you back.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so we have a special guest here in studio with us today. What's up, man?
What is cracking?
What's going on? Tell us all about everything. Start at the beginning.
Well, in the beginning.
Uh-huh. There was light. First there was light, then there was sound.
Sound.
All the people. Yeah. No. You have a new album coming out?
I do, yes. So on the 17th, my next EP, and it is called Incandescent Grumblings Volume 2.
Uh-oh.
And Volume 1 dropped last year, and it was a collection. So those of you may remember me from, what was that, April, I believe, was the last time I popped in here. And at that point, my partner Jordan and I had just moved to Portland.
Yay.
Woohoo!
Welcome.
And now we've been here for going on 7 months.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
It's wild.
Oh my
What?
gosh.
Flying ties.
Congratulations on staying in one spot for 7 months.
And
Thank you.
not easy to
It
do
is
for
not
you.
easy when you've been on the road and touring with different bands, and then you have to root yourself. It's an adjustment, to say the least.
Absolutely. So yeah, spent 2 years living in our van and traveling the country, and doing so really opened up some doors for me in terms of my songwriting. And so the first half of Incandescent Grumblings that came out last year was all tunes that I had written in the van, and it was just voice, acoustic guitar, and cajon. And then the release that's coming out in a couple weeks are some tunes that I wrote mostly in 2019 and a couple in early 2020. And it is the first time I'm putting out a release that is all electric.
Really?
So very exciting.
So I know it doesn't come out for a minute, but
At the 17th,
the
right?
17th.
Yes.
Okay.
But would it be okay if we played a little part of one of the songs while we're here?
Absolutely.
All right. So we've got things working now. I'm going to see if I can pull this off without ruining anything. So let's give it a try.
Here we go.
The weight of what it means to lose can make you ponder why you choose. Connect and take a cosmic cruise inside to find what you create. Release control and congregate. Project the soul and navigate. Swirling on and on, my mind's astray. Holding on to things unsaid. Twisting round and round, go on, press play. Hanging by a single thread. When I look beyond the obvious, should the heavens rain down on me, will a jolt come through the silence? Cruising by to set me free. Set me free.
All right, dude. Wow.
Wow.
Fuck yeah.
That was
I like that.
Really
That got
sweet.
trippy right there at the point.
All right. So
Wow.
first off, is that all you?
It's all me.
Holy shit.
wow.
Okay, where do you do that?
So the recording of this was crazy. So I started recording this one in 21, like 2 months before we left in the van. And so I recorded the vocals in one space. I recorded the guitar and bass in one space. And then I recorded the drums in another space. And then I was sitting on these for a while because homie who recorded the guitar and bass doesn't own a computer. So he did it all through a Tascam machine.
Like a handheld?
So it kind of like your board that you have.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it does everything, and then you put it on a like one of those memory cards
An
used
SD
for
card.
yes. And then you're supposed to be able to take that and transfer it to whatever your digital workstation is that you're using.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the files were acting super weird with the person I usually use to mix and master all my things. So I was like, fuck, did I just spend all this time and money for nothing because I can't do anything with it? Oh. So I sat on the recordings for a while, and then middle of 22 or so, I was scrolling through Instagram one day and saw a buddy of mine had gotten into mixing and mastering. So I hit him up and was like, hey, man, I've got these files. My one friend couldn't do anything with them. I'm wondering if you mind taking a look and seeing if there's anything you can do. And he knows this technique, I guess, that takes the actual frequencies of the sound waves, and he's able to identify, oh, this frequency is guitar and this one is bass, and he was able to pull apart the individual frequencies.
What the hell?
To then split the two instruments apart so that he could individually treat both the parts and then put it back together. That's beyond my knowledge.
Yeah, that's beyond me too, man.
The fact that you can actually explain that is very impressive.
Yes.
Yeah, those are good
very,
words you just did there.
Well, that's very complicated and complex to go for one song that seems so perfectly placed together. It doesn't feel it feels disjointed in the perfect way, and it's not because it was pieced together. It's because the music kind of makes you feel spacey and fluid and wiggly, But like, what a beautiful piece of work!
Thank you so much.
That's
and
amazing.
And I know that it's terrifying to put yourself out there. I got a lot of respect for you, man.
Thank you so much
for like saying, fuck it, I'm just going to do my thing. And,
I'll tell you, one of the things one of the most beautiful things that being a songwriter has gifted me is that ability right there of recognizing, who am I to judge a creation? I wouldn't judge anyone else's creation. So who am I to judge my own? So when the inspiration strikes and I'm writing, even if I'm not feeling it in the moment, I let it do its thing, what it needs to do. And then to me, the act of creating is enough to put something out. Like the fact that something exists that I created is enough for me to say, this is not mine anymore. It's not up to me type of deal.
I saw a clip have you listened to the Rick Rubin podcast, Tetragrammaton, at all?
Here and there, yeah.
I saw a clip of him. I don't know who he was talking to. He's talking about art and being a creator. And he was like, if you like the art, if you create something and you like it, that's it. That's the validation right there, is you liking the thing. When you put it out into the world, that's it. It doesn't matter who attaches to it or likes it. It's all about you. And if you dig it, then that art is deemed worthy to be out there in the world.
Fuck yes. He said something similar along those lines of having creation being an offering to God. And I don't necessarily enjoy using that word, but agree with the sentiment of what I think he was trying to get across.
I think that word has been tortured and
absolutely
used for evil.
I think we just need to modernize what that means to you personally. Back then, God was the ultimate thing that we as humanity agreed on.
It was the old man in the sky.
Now it's not. So we just need to update our verbiage on what we really think it is. Because I don't think God is a slander. I just think that we didn't have a word for something bigger.
Language can be so limiting.
Yeah.
And
try and explain a DMT experience sometime.
And God sometimes is like slang nowadays, because I know I use it all. They're like, oh God, don't let that happen. Oh God, please. And it's not like even talking to God.
Yeah,
Praying
right.
to God. It's just a term.
So you record all the parts, you get it put together. Now I want to talk about the artwork for the cover. I don't think that these two know the story.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the artwork.
Well, when we hung out at
see it.
Circles.
Circles,
yeah. Yeah, but you got to tell.
You got to tell the story of the artwork for the.
So the last time what I was referring to earlier, the last time I was on the show, Jordan and I had, like I said, just moved here. We came over and we had some breakfast. I mean, it had been probably a year and a half maybe since we'd seen each other.
Like the last time we saw each other was at a fish show.
Yeah, Dick's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So it had been maybe 6, 7, 8 months. And so we get over here, have an amazing time, and y'all are like, we really want to keep hanging out with you, but we have some business we have to do. So if y'all want to sit through our episode for the week, you're welcome to sit in and listen, and then we'll do the weekly rewind with y'all for this week. And I'm like, oh, sweet. So the episode that y'all were recording happened to be Nick's actual name,
yeah.
right? Yeah, Young and
Nick
Sick.
Van Hofwegen.
And man, that conversation just, like I was just saying, language is so limiting at times, and words don't really exist for how hard that conversation just like smacked me in the fucking face in the best way.
That's good.
And so I felt compelled, because I'd been looking for some artwork for the release. I felt compelled to reach out. And so I hit him up on Instagram and I was like, hey man, this is going to sound maybe a little creepy, but I was just listening in on your conversation without you knowing. And I was really affected just by the way you speak about your art, how you kind of carry yourself and things like that. And I was wondering what your rates are for doing album artwork. And he responded a couple hours later and was like, oh, y'all or you're friends with No Simple Road. Don't even worry about rates. I got you. And I was just like, what?
right on, Nick.
Huh?
Damn, Nick.
Nick,
Wow.
thank
That's
you
awesome.
so much. That is amazing.
Huge
Nick's-
shout out. I am,
Wow.
yeah.
So Young and Sick did your
Young and
album
Sick
art.
did the album art, yes.
I
And
did see your album art. Then I know what you're talking about.
It
then.
couldn't
Yes.
have turned out any better. I mean,
I
the craziest part, and I was telling these guys this at Circles a couple weeks ago, is that Nick has never met me in person. We've never talked in person, just a few message exchanges over Instagram. And he put a light bulb right in the center of the picture. And I've got 2 light bulbs tattooed on me from one of my favorite Queens of the Stone Age album covers. And the fact that just by listening to my creation, he was able to pull that out of that.
That's wild.
What the fuck?
That is wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you think that is?
That's a great question. I think honestly, Queens is a huge influence on me. That was the live music event that was the first show I went to without my parents when I was of an age that I had gotten into, we'll say, things that help enhance the live music experience.
Okay.
And so that just, I was like, oh shit, live music isn't hanging out with your parents and being bored. It can be this active thing that's super fun. I was 19 when I went to that show. And so that really kicked in. I need to see as much live music as possible, because the way that made me feel.
Well done.
Yeah, right? The way that show made me feel, I had never felt like that before.
That's a good promise to keep to yourself.
They're awesome.
They
That's a great
destroy
show.
live. Oh man.
But I just wonder, like, when here's an example. We have a friend, JJ, and Mel met her at an old job that she used to have. And JJ comes to the house and we're all hanging out. And I was showing her some of my art, some of the stuff that I've drawn. And there's a drawing that I did that she has tattooed on her arm. Literally.
What?
Yeah. Like, we've never met. I've never showed this art's not on Instagram or
It
anywhere.
was way before
This
Instagram.
is like something I drew in Vegas like 20 years ago.
Wow.
And she's got it tattooed on her arm. Like, legitimately, that's the thing. It's the weirdest thing.
That's so crazy.
When she saw that, she was like, "What?" and pulled up her sleeve and was like, look at that.
No.
Yeah, crazy. But what I mean was like, what do you think that is, that an artist can listen to something that somebody creates like that and then pull an image that's so personal and meaningful to you without really knowing you?
I feel like energetically that experience hit me so hard that it naturally comes out in my creation. And then he picked up on it. Tuned in on it.
As an artist, like is
Right.
able to like hone that and pull it out.
Probably without even knowing. That's just what he seems to do. So
That's crazy.
this probably means that him and I are just connected in a bunch of other ways that I don't even know about yet.
He seems like an amazing human being, man.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Well, we said it to him because he talked about doing that on the show. And for him to pay it forward like that and continue to do that, that's something that you don't get to see often in life. And for the fact that like No Simple Road Family's taking care of No Simple Road Family, that's
to
to
the
me
dopest part of the whole thing.
that's like tearjerker.
That's I love when
Like,
we
for
were
real.
at Circles and you came out because Joe just showed it to me, and you didn't say anything. You're just like, check this out, and I look at it and I'm like, holy crap, that's awesome. I thought it was something you did. Drew was trying. I was like, that looks like Young and Sick stuff, and he's like, it is. That is it. And then explain what it was. I was like, holy
Wow.
shit.
Wow.
You know, like I said earlier, Joe, it's super hard to put yourself out there, and it's brave and
It really is.
for any artist to put their stuff out. I still am like terrified to play in front of anybody. You know what I mean? What is it that you like, your inner dialogue, that gets you past any of that?
I've been a performer one way or another my entire life, I feel like. When I was coming up, it was a lot of seeking attention. And now I don't try and view it that way. I really try and view it as playing music is what makes me happiest. And so once I'm up there doing that, I don't view it as performing in front of people. I just view it as playing music and people happen to be there.
Oh,
And
that's actually a great reframing.
yeah, and I feel like because music has just always been such a huge part of my life, and especially lately branching out into other instruments, I've been really finding that when I let go and enter that space, it doesn't matter if I'm by myself or not that I've played in front of thousands of people, but I feel like it won't affect me when I get to that point because I'm just doing what I love.
That's really cool. That's
That's a great way of looking at, like, I'm playing music and there just happens to be people.
Yeah.
And if they dig it, they dig it. And if they don't,
I'm up here digging it.
And I
doing
feel
what
like
love.
a big part of me getting to that kind of mental headspace is that for so long I was just the drummer. So I was in the back, people weren't really looking at me. And so I learned performance through that lens, and then switching things around and getting up front as the vocalist and guitarist, because I spent so much time like not worrying about the performing part of it. It just kind of naturally translated.
okay.
Which I'm grateful for.
Whoa. So where can people go to get it?
It'll be available wherever you get your music, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, things like that. And if you use a platform that my music is not on, please reach out to me at Boomerang Sky Music on Instagram, and I will make sure it gets up there.
So what do they search if they're going to look for you?
Boomerang Sky is the name of the project. And what's coming out in a couple weeks is my third official release. And then on Bandcamp, under Boomerang Sky, I have a bunch of acoustic demos that I've recorded as well.
And Bandcamp is kind of the best place to go.
It's going through some things right now where it's been bought out by a bunch of bigger companies.
Oh no.
And
That was like the one place that was safe.
Yeah, so there supposedly have been a lot of people have been let go, and there have been some folks who have been working to get it unionized, and so that's kind of going on right now. But at the same time, and I haven't checked in recently with how that's going, but I think whatever this newest acquisition is kind of presented a pretty big challenge for them to reach that point. And now there's a lot of clones that are coming out. Me personally, I haven't taken the time to really check out any of those just because Bandcamp's been working for me. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's a great idea and then capitalism gets a hold of it and it becomes all about money and not about the art anymore.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
Well, we were actually talking about this the other day of like having patrons. You know, back in the day, artists would have patrons that
still happens.
Took care of them so that the artists could do whatever they needed to do, because we do live in a material realm. We live in a world where you have to pay to eat and you need clothes and you need to shelter yourself. And whether you're in a van, you need gas, whatever.
Yep.
Everything to live, it costs money. So if you're taking your time and your energy and your talent and pouring it into creating something that you feel is beautiful and putting it out into the world, then there should be some kind of energetic reciprocity coming back to you that will help you continue on that journey, right? And it's tough. The music space is really tough. They're getting like $0.25 per download or something crazy like that on the streaming platforms.
Yep.
And who was it that we interviewed? They were like, a band is just a vehicle to sell merchandise.
Maurice Tanny.
Maurice Tanny. Yeah. And that's sad.
It really is.
You know, we're not going to make it to the next show if we don't sell 30 t-shirts because we didn't make enough on.
There's an opportunity there. I don't know quite what it is,
Come on, let's figure it out now.
Well, the thing is that we've seen bands like Frasco, and then Eggy started doing it, and like Dogs in a Pile, and a lot of these bands, Pigeons, like making videos of their travels, or like come see us at, Sarasota Springs.
Oh yeah, everybody's doing it now.
Right? It's another vehicle to expose yourself, but all these you're exposing yourself, but there's never anything in return. So there's got to be a way that you can do that, yet there's something that can sustain your basic needs.
Yeah.
I mean, Apollo Sons, when we had them on the show, they're from Canada. Like, for them to go on tour, they got a grant from the government. The Canadian government supports the arts and touring bands with grants.
That's so beautiful.
That's amazing.
They get some kind of stipend,
Wow.
It's crazy. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't a ton of dough.
But still, anything helps.
Yeah, literally anything does help. A tank of gas helps,
I was
Joe, I want to ask this. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, as a traveling musician and just person, because you were traveling, but you were also just living too, what would help? What would make it easier on the road? And you roll up in any city and you have just the basic normal problems, or not problems, but things that are going on with traveling. What would make it easy when you showed up to a city? If somebody offered what, or if there was some kind of service, or
That's a great question. I would say probably gas is the biggest commodity
fuel.
When traveling, especially if you have a larger vehicle that kind of burns through that. But I kind of found from moving around that when there were spots that we were able to visit a couple times, by being there and going out and experiencing the city, you were kind of able to build a small bit of community. And any of that it doesn't matter where you live if you don't have a community for yourself to spend a little time in. the isolation can definitely get to you.
Yes.
And then it can, at times I found it getting to a point where, because I found myself so isolated, then part of me was finding comfort in the isolation and not pushing myself to go out and find the community. So I would say, the gas would definitely help, but also something you can do for yourself is, like, when you're in those moments, pushing through no matter what, and working to find those people who are out to support artists, or just you in general.
Yeah, I think that's one of the beauties and one of the dangers of the way the world is right now, and the prevalence of social media, is that we have the ability to be so connected with so many people all the time and interact with them in a digital way, but we don't have the human element of it. And the digital part of it is not a substitute for the other. And I think that, especially for those that have grown up with that always having been there, it's hard, because it's like I don't want to say it's a counterfeit, but it's like a cheap knockoff for the real thing.
Yeah.
And you could be like, well, I have, 15,000 followers on Instagram, and then you shut your phone off and crickets are chirping and nobody's calling. And that's a head trip.
Absolutely. I found in my experience that I find myself kind of right in the middle personality-wise between introvert and extrovert, where I need my recharge time, but I need my people time as well. And if I go too far in either direction, I'm not being my best self. But I found that through my natural desire to I love having conversations with people in person. It's one of my favorite things, to just get to share ideas about life and perspectives and things like that. It's such a beautiful thing. And I found in my experience that by naturally wanting to participate in things like that, those experiences were finding me, of people who also really value conversation and are not only wanting to be in the conversation to speak, but also to listen and to actively listen. And those are definitely lost arts in the population as a whole, but they are still there. And I feel like if that's something that you dedicate yourself to, reminding yourself, this is something that I want, it'll come.
I say listening is like a lost art form. Too many people don't listen to the other side, or listen to that's bothersome nowadays.
Yeah.
Nowadays. It definitely is. Apple.
Tis.
It's a thing that, like, everybody's waiting to express their opinion. And that's fine, right? But you have to be willing to hear other people's opinion.
Yeah, hear an entire thought of somebody else's and then form what you're going to say.
That's one of the...
Don't have it formed ahead of time, just waiting, like, okay, are you done talking?
Yeah.
I have a thing that I've been wanting to say for 5 minutes. I wasn't even listening to you.
That's one of the things that doing this has, like, in the beginning, I was so bad at waiting to talk.
It's safe to say we all were.
We all were, yeah. We'd talk over, ask an artist a question before they even had a chance to answer it, like, on to the next one. Like, oh, that was bad.
Oops.
But active listening, I think that it's definitely, like you said, it's an art form. And when you do it, amazing stuff can happen. That's like, we've talked about this on the show a million times, but a good conversation is really akin to a good jam. If you're listening and you're paying attention and you're playing music with somebody, then you're open for the magic to happen. And the same thing is true of conversation. Mm-hmm. And just having honest dialogue. And I'm not even talking about with people that you agree with. Being willing to sit down and have a conversation with somebody that you don't agree with, so you can understand somebody else's perspective. Because I really do believe that, like, and this may be unpopular, but I do believe at the end of the day, we all kind of want the same 3 or 4 different things. We want to be healthy. We want to be loved. We want to be safe, and we want to be free.
You know, and if you sit and have a conversation with somebody you don't agree with, usually if you spend the time, you end up realizing that you're talking about the same thing, or you agree, but it was just different paths to get there.
Or like Mel was saying earlier, the verbiage
Yeah.
is the difference. But it's talking about the same thing for sure.
And it's definitely right now a very tangled web
Also,
of things. So
nobody needs to agree to everything. That's another thing. Like, we don't have to agree. There's a whole age of people that were raised different. They're from different countries.
they've had
like
different experiences.
So there's to have the same beliefs or the same ways of viewing things. It seems so not up to date.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's right for the time right now. The understanding needs to come in being okay with disagreements and having respect for each other. That's what it is. It's, oh, that's what you think? That's cool. I don't, but I so respect you for that. And it's not condescending, and it's not like placating. It's legit. It's like, oh, I just don't think like that, but you do. And that's so cool. Like,
is that
fine.
the lost art of agreeing to disagree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And realizing that more than one person can be right about something.
Exactly.
Even
shit.
if it's not the exact conclusion, because you came to that conclusion by what you've experienced in life. You know, that could be totally right for me, but Joe would be like, I don't understand that. That's not right, because it's raised differently or experienced it differently.
Well, I want to go back to what Joe said, though, about community. And that, I think that is the savior of all of that. Like, that isolation and disconnection and inability to see other perspectives. We're taught that through community and being around other people and having different viewpoints, experiences, and lifestyles put in front of us. And, you know, it's just simply having friends, you know, opening yourself up to allowing yourself to be a friend and have them for yourself. Like, I think that's also a lost art that's going away. We're really fortunate, really fortunate. Like, we were talking to our son the other day, and he's living down in Eugene, and he's working, lives with his girlfriend. And he is like, you know, he's 21. He's like, you know, Dad, it's really hard to make friends when you're working, when you're just like doing the day to day and going to work. And it's, where do you go to meet friends? You guys are so lucky. I realize how lucky you guys are. You have so many friends because of No Simple Road. He's like, but what do you do when you aren't into that as a person? How do you do that? And I didn't have a good answer for him. Honestly,
I think a lot of people go to the bar. That's exactly why the bar is there, because it's, some people actually, they like to drink, of course, they're there. But then there's people that are just like, I don't know where else people are hanging out. And so you go to get something to eat, you're going to eat at your own table, not at a big table with people. So you can't really do it that way. You go get dessert, same thing. Like, you have to like have a drink and sit for a while, and then it allows conversation. There's not too many other places that you can do that.
People congregate that much. Yeah. That's why sports bars, especially in this country, they're huge. You can go to any town and find, like, there's a Philadelphia Eagles bar right down the street. You know?
Okay. I think that knowing how to be a friend to somebody and have a conversation it's huge. It's something that a lot of us carry around, a lot of traumas and pain and hidden shit and baggage from the past, and just one friend that is willing to listen to you without judgment and hear your stuff
with compassion.
And even if they don't understand, just hearing it, that can be healing for somebody, you know? What I wanted to talk about actually today was that. It's funny that this came up like this. I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think being a friend means? What does that actually mean? Because I mean, it's, oh, that's my friend. You know, it's something we throw around. But what does it mean to be a friend to somebody?
I think first off, it's kind of like any relationship. It's somebody that you want to be, or like you kind of picture like life without them would not be the same.
Okay.
Like if this person wasn't in my, well, for example, you, it's like if Aaron wasn't in my life, like, oh my God, it'd be so weird and different and I wouldn't enjoy it as much.
But do you feel like that about Henry?
I mean, at points I did, but then when you move away from each other and stuff, but still, like the other thing to me that's really strong about friend is somebody who you got that, like you got their back and they've got yours. You know, they'd be there for you in the hard times, and like that. Like with Henry, Nick, Aaron, I've gone through terrible things on both sides and always there for each other. And I mean, that's kind of a true test of friendship when shit happens and you find out, because there's been people that aren't there.
Yeah, you find out who's still around.
Yeah. So I think a big part is like that security.
Being there for each other.
Is a security thing. Like I feel secure with this person. This person's got me, and not just you, but your family and your loved ones. Also, like being a supporter of all that. And like we we're just talking about, and being a listener. Sometimes just being a listener, not even, because a lot of times, friends, we don't want a solution or something like that. Sometimes there's not one. You just, you want somebody to listen and go, fuck, man, that sucks, or I hear you, or you all right. Just a reassuring, like,
Thanks, Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Mel, what do you think? What does it mean to be a friend?
I mean, for me to be a friend and for, like, I just think of, I think of a lot. I feel like my friends, I think they're like my family. I treat them like my family. It's not always about remembering every single birthday, but every time you see them, you make them feel like they're important and like you want to see them. It's not like, and I don't mean this in any harsh kind of way, but seeing the bank teller, like you're not necessarily so happy to see the bank teller. You know, they're a little bit more benign.
Depends on if they're kicking you down or not.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I just mean in your daily life, that's a person that you're not going to see as often, and you may not be like, "Whoa, it's great to see you." You know,
you're friendly.
Right on, Helen.
You're friendly with, but
yeah, you're
not
friendly,
friends.
but like somebody that you're excited to spend time with, and they're excited to spend time with you, and that right there is good. Yeah, it's because I know, like, trying to plan vacations or whatever with my friends, it's like there's this anticipation, almost the same as like going out on a date. It's like, oh my God, I know what we love doing this together. So we're gonna like when I hang out with Crystal, like we are gonna journal together. We're totally gonna like do collaging. Like we're gonna
eat edibles.
We're gonna have a blast, but there's like this expectation of fun or like excitement or just the shared time. The shared time is special, and like wanting to do whatever it is with that friend. And
that's a good example too, especially like you and Crystal, when you asked me, like with Henry, a good friend too to me is somebody that you can go years without seeing, but as soon as you hang out again, it's like you didn't miss a beat. You pick right up where you left off.
Yeah.
And there's like no hard feelings about I haven't seen you in quite a while or anything.
It's like me and Shelley.
Like life happens, and I'm just glad we have this moment. And especially those when it's been a while, you get so excited.
Yeah, you're stoked.
When you get so excited about seeing that person, that's a true friend. Like,
and another thing about friendship too is like you said it, Apple too, but like being there for somebody and sharing yourself as well, being like comfortable enough to share yourself with your friend, whether it's about shit that went down when you were little or growing up, or maybe beef that you and your partner are having, or like just being able to be comfortable enough to do that. Because, you know, that's why we kind of differentiate acquaintances and friends. You wouldn't necessarily tell an acquaintance, like somebody that you just know in passing, these deep seated things about your childhood or like, you know, you and your partner. But a friend, you absolutely would. And you know, you can have that type of release. And so I just think a friend is interested in you and you're interested in them, and you get to share these amazing times, and, you know, and each time it's special.
Yeah. I think those are both good descriptions. What about you, Joe?
I would say for me, it goes back to feeling comfy, like we were talking about earlier. Like to me, a true friend is, it doesn't matter what the activity is. There's this mutual recognition of the comfiness of spending time with each other's energy.
Yeah.
And this give and take, that sometimes it's more give and than take on one end, and vice versa, but it doesn't matter because you're still showing up together to share in the beauty of being gifted a connection like that.
Wow.
I like it.
That's,
yeah.
when's your birthday?
October 18th.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Well, I like that, kind of like what you said. It reminds you, like when you're in a true friendship with somebody, you're in it for the long game. You're not thinking like we did. It's not like you owe me $20 or you owe me the. It's like fucking, we just do our thing back and forth because we're gonna be together for a long time. Well,
you and I are different. You're my platonic life mate. You know, that's different.
By the way, you owe me $50.
I know.
Apple, can I borrow $50?
And see if you can get your man to pay me. Shit. Oh, how about 50-50?
I'll just take it then.
Yeah, I'll just give it to Mel.
There you go.
It's being a friend is so multifaceted.
Yes.
Like what it means.
Yeah.
But you stole my answer a little bit. It's funny. That's why I asked when your birthday was. For me, it really comes down to comfort, being comfortable with somebody, because as somebody, now that I'm older and realize that I carried anxiety for so long in my life, my friends were the ones that I didn't feel like that with. Like they were like these safe pockets in a really turbulent world. And those were the people that I could like catch my breath with. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful. There's this band called Chicano Batman.
Yeah.
I love you. Yeah.
Y'all know them?
They're
Yeah,
awesome.
their song, "The Friendship is a Small Boat in a Storm."
Yes.
Love that lyric.
Yes. And also, it's the people that know your shit and love you anyway. You know what I mean? Like they've seen your funk laid out on the floor in front of you, and they're still like, you know what, man, it's cool.
I groove with it.
Let me help you. Let me help you clean that up.
Let's keep moving.
Someone's got to clean that up. Let me help you clean it up, man.
Don't doubt me.
Totally. And I've been really fortunate in my life to have found people like that. And I know that there's folks that listen that have a hard time in that department. And I think my best advice for somebody that's like feeling lonely or disconnected is just putting yourself out there. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen?
You get embarrassed.
That's it. Or nothing.
And but like, if you're traumatized because of that, that is just as bad as like death in your head. Like you confronting something so big, that embarrassment or shame,
side is
or
also,
so then that'll make you retreat again. And if you don't have a support system, like back at home or something like that, then that can take you back years.
yeah.
I mean, that it is good advice in a general sense, but like just getting out there is the reason why most of the time why you don't have friends. And then out
What do you mean by that?
Like because you didn't get out there, you don't have friends.
If you're listening to this, you most likely like live music, right?
Yeah.
So come to a show.
Yeah.
But
so you can kind of be alone in a crowd. Do you know what I'm saying? Right?
Oh yeah, when you're alone in a crowd, you really feel the weight of that.
Yeah, or it can be liberating. That can be. I love getting lost in the crowd.
Yeah, but you've got an army of folks you call friend.
That's why I love getting lost in the crowd, so that I can literally not know anybody and have a new experience. You know, and
step away from that.
Because I'm like, I have a tendency to be very giving or energetic toward this person, and I want to know what's going on, and I really do. But then I never get to express it because I'm listening. Do you know? So when I'm around people that don't know me, if they're like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" then I'm like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not having. I stay quiet or silent until someone approaches me, and then I can like have a new experience. Otherwise, I'm wanting to cater. I like spending time with the people I know. I love it. Like, think about Dick's Weekend. If I could have just hung out with those 6 same people that we had the whole time, I would have been fine with that. But then there's so many awesome people there,
and then that
you want to
hang. That could be a distraction from the whole experience.
I'll just like tune right in.
That's why it is fun to take off for part of a show by yourself, to go listen to it more, go to different spots, and
just have a brand new experience
in it differently. Because there is something about being with your group of friends, but we've all done that where you realize, like, a song starts and you lean in to be like, oh my God, that guitar part. And the next thing you know, you've been talking for like several minutes.
And the people behind you are like, shut the fuck up.
It's like, oh shit. Now I'm being that person that's talking to my friend about something that.
And that's me. I've been guilty of that.
Yeah, Mel's been busted at chomping at shows quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Because like, it's exactly that reason.
And you have a voice that'll like, when you're at a show, it goes higher than Trey's guitar.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is very true.
You've gotten
me
scolded.
And Trey compete back and forth.
It's what I mean by putting yourself out there is you need to be in situations where stuff can happen.
You have to try.
Yeah. If you stay home and isolate yourself, things are never going to change. At some point you have to step out.
Yeah. You get more of the same.
Step out of your shit and be like, okay, I'm going to put myself out there. And sometimes nothing's going to happen, and that's okay. You're still where you were at when you started. It's all good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
no
but
harm,
maybe
no
you saw
foul.
a cool show or something.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe you end up next to the person that's going to be the best friend you ever have for the rest of your life. I mean, the greatest example of all of it is Cody.
Oh, Cody.
Cody is the greatest example.
He definitely put himself out there.
Well, just listening to you this morning, Cody was over this morning and listening to you out there reading back the texts from when he was coming to Austin.
I was looking for an email that he sent me, and I found the original email that Cody sent to No Simple Road before we knew each other.
Wow.
Aww.
And I was reading the whole thread of like us meeting.
Was it cute?
It was really cute. It was really cute.
What should I expect? How do I do this? What do I do?
But he was like quite literally.
He wanted it that bad.
Will you be my friend?
Yeah, he did. He wanted it that bad. And you know what? He's brave. Cody is very brave.
But look what happens. Bravery is rewarded.
Yes.
Nature rewards bravery.
Yes, it does.
Right?
Yes.
Look at those trees across the street.
So maybe I would say a better way to say it is like, it's, if you want friendship, if you feel lonely, you need to be brave. Wherever you feel that you're holding yourself back from making a friend, try to be brave in that way. If you're somebody who doesn't like to go out or do anything, pick one of your interests and then go out and do something that has to do with that. Because at the very least, the other people there like the same thing.
Yeah, you have common ground.
So just be brave in whatever way you think that you could, if maybe it's like, oh, those people at work are kind of cool and they're going bowling, like invite yourself, or like if they shoot you down, okay, fine. If they don't, no, you're hanging out with everybody from work. So like, I don't know. I just think that bravery is could be very helpful in this situation.
Speaking of bowling, this was pretty crazy. I
like that segue. Nice. Speaking of bowling,
I love that.
I was kicking it with a new friend maybe a month or so ago. We were just getting some coffee and we're chatted up, and I had a Dead shirt on, and a person from across the street noticed my shirt and came over and was like, "Hey, we do a Grateful Dead bowling night on Monday. Is it?" And I wrote it down, whatever the alley is. You should come kick it. And I was like, "Sweet." And it was just so funny how
Perfect example.
Yeah. Just
That's
like
cool. A Grateful Dead bowling night.
yeah, just like being open to
That's cool.
a
I wanna do
random
a
stranger
Grateful Dead
sees you and comes over, and being open to seeing where that connection goes to potentially.
And look,
Wait, did you have eye contact with this person when they were coming over?
Not at first.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just
they were
trying
like,
to get
another head. I'm going to tell them about bowling night. Deadheads are cool like that.
Yeah.
That's dope.
We'll go out of their way like that.
Right.
When we lived in Vegas, I had a Dead sticker. I had a steal your face on the back of my car, and I dropped my son off at school one morning, and it was my birthday. I had taken the day off. I dropped Simon off at school.
I remember this.
And I leave the parking lot and I notice that this truck is following me, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I get to the stoplight and this truck pulls up next to me, and the dude rolls down his window. He's like, "Hey brother, I'm a Deadhead too. You want to go smoke a joint?" And I was like, "It's my birthday. I have the day off. Mel's at work. Yeah."
Let's go.
And Tommy. It was Tommy.
That was Tommy?
Yeah. Me and him became buddies. Like, we saw a bunch of shows. Him, his wife, and Mel became friends.
He's actually
so
responsible for
beautiful.
us getting back into the jam scene.
Yeah.
He's responsible for that.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. So you never know where.
And the drum circles.
Yeah, going to drum circles.
He
too
was
huge.
actually a really amazing friend and was so sweet.
Hey, you want to go
And,
smoke a joint in my garage?
Like,
Sure.
Yes, I do.
Was it Tommy and Jen?
Yeah, Tommy and
They
Jen.
were fun, and they live pretty close out by us
right down the
too,
street
and-
from us. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
funny.
Well, that's like that Boxer Rain lyric about not knowing what's around the corner
Yeah.
to meet you. Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't know. And look, here's the dope part of No Simple Road, that like, this was not planned. This is a byproduct of us doing this for whatever reason. This happened is there's a community of people here, right? And if you happen to live in this area and you don't feel like you have any friends, well, you do,
Yeah,
because
you do.
we're here. And like, you can literally go to our website and be like, oh, they're going to be here. 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 I'm going to buy tickets for this show and go with them. And you don't have to be like shy or weird to come up to us. You could just be like, yo, I'm part of the No Simple Road family. I'm hanging with you guys tonight.
or if you're shy, be brave and be like, I'm going to go up and talk to him tonight. I'm going to be like, hey, what's up? And then we'll probably be
We'll
like,
kick it.
oh my gosh, give you a big hug and be like, come on, cut you in.
Here's
Yeah.
a sticker. Come on. Come hang with
I used
us.
to say we've never been not happy to meet somebody
Yeah.
at a show when
And,
that happens.
you know,
It's
we're not
all-
clingy. You can come in and out. You can go play and dance and come back, or go up to the balcony and, you know, wave from the top. Like, do whatever you want to do.
I was
Unless we decide you're a keeper.
That's a keeper. I was thinking about this the other day, actually. I was remembering back to like elementary school, and
You remember back now?
sort of
Congratulations. Oh,
remembering how out of place I felt, and like there was a group of kids that were all friends and I was on the outside of that shit, and it hurt my feelings every day at school. And I would get picked on and fucked with even into junior high school. And that shit leaves a mark. You know, that's a scar. And so that's why when I say that's the dope part of No Simple Road and a byproduct of us doing this thing, like, it's healed that for me, this community that grew up around this, because I didn't have that as a kid. You know what I mean? High school, yeah, I did, but elementary school and junior high, I didn't. And that's painful for a little kid to feel on the outside and left out. And so as an adult to feel on the outside and left out, I can't even fathom the depths of that. So it's cool that we have this vehicle that is inclusive like that and a safe space. And even if you're not here, like, then shoot us a DM. I'll bullshit with you over the internet. Like,
we have.
Yeah, I do. I have somebody in mind right now that I'm thinking of that I did it with today. And it's what makes life richer, man. Those connections and those friendships and those moments that we can all share together and the things that we do together and looking forward to seeing each other and just all the silly shit. Like that's what makes life grand, that stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. I really needed to hear that. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
I would say my relation to that kind of coming up, I was real into sports when I was younger, and then there was this transition of me kind of falling out of that because I was putting more attention into music, but my outlet of music in school was through band, and of course, the classic band kid
Nerd
stereotype, right?
Me too.
And then coming from, like I was talking about earlier, coming from a place of wanting attention and validation so bad, and then not receiving that, in this awkward transition of finding different interests and finding the people who are actually going to stick around. And for my birthday a couple weeks ago, I had a really nice alleged mushroom experience where I had been thinking that I was really on top of things and making a lot of progress, and it showed me that there were parts of me that did not agree with that. With like what there are parts of me that don't agree with the reality that I'm experiencing. And I was kind of wondering in the moment, like, where is that coming from? Because like I'm getting the reassurance every single day in the connections I'm making and the things that are happening since moving out here. And so I feel like that just connected the dots of where that may potentially have been coming from.
Really? Dope.
Yeah. So thank you for
Glad
that.
I could be of service.
Fuck yeah.
I was doing anything.
Again, not planned, not scripted.
Yeah, and that goes back to the friend thing of like spending time with someone that you feel comfortable connecting with, and just by speaking each other's truth out,
Yeah.
you teach people.
Yeah, man. It's funny. I have a thing with talking on the phone. Like I get anxious when the phone rings, or like if I know I have to call somebody, I get like a knot in my stomach. Even ordering food on the phone, I have a hard time.
He hates
ordering food and talking to somebody.
You've done that many times. You're like, if you order it, I will go pick it up and pay for it.
Totally.
Type thing. Like, okay.
But I realized that the friends that I've made since I moved here have started to heal me from that. And I realized it Friday. Love from Family Mystic called, and I couldn't take the call. And then I tried calling him back. He didn't answer. We were playing phone tag back and forth. And I finally had to call him. It was my turn. I called him. And I didn't have that anxiety when I was calling. And I thought to myself, like in the moment, I was like, oh, this is what normal people feel like when they call somebody. and I got on the phone and I was like, I just have to tell you, this may be weird. So I told him laid the whole thing. I was like, I didn't have that anxiety when I was about to call you just now. And he was like, well, I'm glad I could be of service. I'm glad you weren't nervous before you called me. But our friends inadvertently, if they're good friends, will help heal us of our shit without even having to do anything. And like I said earlier, that's the stuff that makes life richer, because, we're all carrying some kind of bag with us. There's nobody that's walking around bagless. I don't know anybody that is.
Footloose, fancy.
No,
free,
I've got it all together. If they
everything's been perfect.
Jasper.
No, Jasper's got stuff. Guarantee
yeah,
it.
he's got little bags.
Little teeny bags that he's carrying around. No, I think if you don't have bags anymore, you just turn into light and vapor and disappear into your own navel.
No, it's true. We have to have a antagonist of some sort, a mindset, a person, a feeling, a place, something that those types of things, they do help us grow, whether we like them or not.
Yeah.
And they make great songs. They make incredible artwork. They make cool sayings. You know, they make great bonders when you talk to somebody like, oh, you had a shitty mom? Me too. You know, like you can bond in stuff that's, you know, been really rough.
Well, that's a good, you can bond over shitty stuff.
Yeah. And you can help each other over it too. Cause like maybe you're bonding with somebody who's at the beginning stages of something you've dealt with. Now they have a wall that they can like go to and find solace in when they're in the thick of it. And
I know that's how me and Aaron, that's how me and Aaron's friendship started, is being from parents that were split up.
Yep.
And having step parents and that stuff. And then all of a sudden it was like, what? Your shit sucks too? But this is
Right
cool.
on.
Like, we
can be feral together.
Yeah, we're here for each other.
I've learned too, and you guys tell me if this is true for you, that over being alive for 50 whatever years, that when I meet somebody now, I can tell energetically if they're going to be a friend or not. Like almost instantly when I meet someone, you can feel that like frequency connection.
The kind of natural push and pull.
Yep.
Like the fabrics go together
Yeah.
well and
You're
aren't
like,
all rough.
Oh, wow.
Like
I found another piece of the puzzle.
I would say in my experience, I relate, but for me personally, my radar may not be as in tune, and I feel like I have this thing where I genuinely want to be friends with everybody, and so someone's like, you know, coming up and starting a conversation, or I do the other, and at times I'm working on making sure that I keep my boundaries up with folks and not allow my desire to have as many connections as possible to not, you know, shoot myself in the foot.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to my world, Joe.
Well, also,
I feel like that's the Libra in us, though.
there's shitty people out there too, man. Not everybody has our best interests at heart.
Very true.
And there's people that are shady and
there's people that are vampires and they're not on purpose. That's another thing that I want to say out there. That this is a real
some of y'all
thing.
are on purpose. I'm just saying that.
Oh,
too.
yes,
Yeah,
that's
some
true.
are not.
That's true. But some of them are not on purpose. This is like their need. They're so needy about certain things, maybe because
Coming
of
from
their
their
trauma.
traumas,
Yeah,
yeah.
their traumas and stuff.
Product of their environment.
And so they're like a sponge, like sucking up anything around them. And those are the ones that are hardest to let go of because there's nothing wrong. Like maybe there was never a fight or something. They just drain the living crap out of you, and that you can't allow that to stay either. I have learned the hard way. You have to let go of that as nicely or harshly as necessary.
It's tough.
You know, like sometimes it's just a thing. And like I wouldn't give that advice to my own kids because I've seen it, I've witnessed it, I've experienced it.
And another friendship that, like, I just got to share that because I'm excited about that. Aaron and Mel know this. Since we met Andrew is a new friend that reignited my love of the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, I'd given up since moving up here and living in Vegas. It was I knew a lot more people were into football and stuff. But now, like sorry, Cowboys fans, but the Eagles just defeated the Cowboys. It is official. So, and that makes me very excited. And Andrew is the one that got me re-excited. You know, we text and stuff about that. It refreshed something in me that I'd kind of set aside because I didn't have anybody else to really share it with.
That's so dope.
I'll say it, dude.
It's very
Bo
cool.
Gerds.
Bogert, killing it.
Yeah. Wow. Well, if you
Okay, let's recap. Joe, what was the first,
Joe's release, Incandescent Rumblings.
Okay, no,
Volume 2.
Volume 2, all right.
Go to Boomerang Sky.
Yes, search that wherever you find your music. And then if you're in the Pacific Northwest, 2 days later on the 19th at the Goodfoot is the release show.
Joe, do you know that the 17th is my sister's birthday and then the 19th is my mom's birthday? That's crazy.
Whoa.
And Mel's a Libra and you're a Libra.
Yep.
And you got married and you are a Libra.
Yep.
And you got married on my birthday.
Holy shit.
And you're in my house right now.
And you're our friend.
Everybody's head blew up. Except for Darwin.
And Darwin's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so that's going to be a hell of a time and my first official show since moving out here. So very, very excited.
That's exciting.
Aw,
That's super exciting.
rad.
Right on.
Yay.
Congratulations.
Yes.
And if you're out there and you're feeling lonely, you're feeling lost, you don't have friends, or
maybe you do
or
have
you
friends.
do have friends
You need more.
and they're a drag, or if you have friends and they're dope and you just want more, you can go to our website and you can see where we're going to be. You could pick a show that is of your interest and then come hang out with us, and boom, friends, just like that. Unless you're a turd, then don't do that. But most of you listening,
Well,
probably.
we got 3 shows coming up this coming weekend.
We have the
So-
String Dusters on Friday. We have Pigeons in a Pile on Saturday. And then Maggie Rose on Monday.
Yeah.
It's going to be a busy weekend for the No Simple Road family.
Yeah.
I'm really, really stoked to see Dogs in a Pile and Pigeons playing ping pong. Are you going?
No, I can't swing that one, but I want to.
Do you
be
have to
there.
work?
No, so I'm spending that day walking around and flyering for my show.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
You're putting in the work.
Putting in the work.
Okay.
Yep.
I won't throw salt in that game. I was going to throw
Joe
salt in it.
is putting in the work.
But just to give you
Love
another,
that.
I mean, possible, I mean, there is going to be a lot of people out at that show that you could hand
Hand
flyers
out
to.
to.
True.
You could
Where's
Just
it at?
throwing that in
It's
there.
at the
Oh.
Crystal Ballroom.
Ooh,
You could make it a
okay.
working. Joe, he wants you to pet him.
Hi, sweet baby.
What's
what
up,
what a
now?
jerk. He gives you his paw.
Ah,
Hey.
Wow, Darwin.
That was rude, Darwin.
He's like, I suckered him in. I was doing this. I was teaching him a rule about friendship.
Know your boundaries.
I've got things to say about friends too.
You know that part where you're saying sometimes people sucker you in? Well, there you go, buddy.
Also, we mentioned it at the beginning, but I'm going to mention it here at the end, and everybody's going to go, no,
Go
we
lay
didn't.
down, Dar.
But we did, because we're going to go and record it here in a minute. On December 7th, No Simple Road is hosting the No Simple Road Holiday Get Down at the Get Down with members of World's Finest, Lost Ox, Sponge, Family Mystic. Help me out,
Bodie?
fam.
Bodie Mojo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Garcia birthday band.
Yes.
Boom.
And it's going to be a night of music and conversation with the No Simple Road family. It's a time for all of us to get together and spend some quality time at a party you don't want to leave early. So this is the
right.
one. Tickets are available now. You can get them at thegetdownpdx.com or at nosimpleroad.com. Early bird tickets are $15. They are on sale until the 10th of November. After the 10th, it goes up $5. So go get your tickets now. You get in for
Say it
15
$5.
15
Yeah.
beans, man.
But,
And then we know
$20
you're gonna
bill's
be
fine.
there.
Yeah.
And that is that.
Okay.
Ta-da.
That's that.
We would
Alright.
like to again thank our collaborator, The Edible Beats, for hanging with us. And I'm just going to throw it out there. Melt Premium Mushroom Chocolates, man. The best stocking stuffer idea ever on the planet.
Ooh.
If you know people that are into melting their troubles away with mushroom chocolates, then go to @meltmushrooms on Instagram, shoot them a DM, ask them for their menu, tell them No Simple Road sent you. For the month of November, you are getting buy one, get one free.
Ooh.
That's a fat deal right
Wow.
there. So
That is definitely stocked
And
up
I-
on that.
yeah, 10 different flavors, man.
I know. I can tell you too. A friend of mine, no names named, but tried one and now
Allegedly.
is hooked. And once started with one,
Hooked.
then 2, and now it's like, well, I might as well order like 4 or 5. And so
you have
it's gonna be
them.
like, get a case.
Get a case and stuck stockings? Stockings.
Stock stuffings.
Wow.
Yes, with them.
Dar, this spot is not for you to be. Come on,
No, go lay down,
Come
Dar.
on,
over here.
go lay down.
I'm
All right,
Go lay
putting
down.
everybody.
pressure on Joe.
Sorry, guys. In the podcast world, I'm
We're having dog issues.
it's like basically on my lap, and
he is.
130-pound dog that wants to be in your lap.
He thinks he's a pocket dog.
All right, everybody, we love you. Go Boomerang Sky, Edible Beats,
Love
mushroom
your-
chocolates, all the things.
Love yourself. Love your pets.
Joe,
love one
thank
another.
you for the discussion on friendship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I learned
thank
a lot.
y'all for having me
Yes.
on.
It was fun. And until next time, we'll be back on Friday with another episode of No Simple Road. Until then, take care of each other. Smile at a stranger. Safety third. Hydrate. Where's our SOs?
Listen to Boomerang Sky.
Listen to Boomerang Sky. Love y'all. Peace.
Peace.
But it's a burden. Family needs has been deferred, and hella means been the earth, and alchemy can bring the birth, the melody of a new born. So persistent, so resistant, so insistent, so commitment, so resilient, or haven't you learned it? No simple road. 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 My windshield is shattered as I focus through the spot in the corner that is still intact. The reality is both a defense mechanism as well as a fear. We've traveled this road before, so we may think, but it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A equal A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
What's up, everyone? It's Joe, and I'm the host of That's Awesome with Joe, a podcast on the newly formed Sound Talent Media Podcast Network. I talk with tons of your favorite artists, managers, touring personnel, and more. Most of the time we talk about music, but lots of the time we end up talking about something completely unrelated. We laugh a lot. We do a lot of really stupid things, but also some things that are really informative and interesting. Basically, it's a podcast that I think you should listen to. Obviously, I'm biased because it's my podcast, but I think I might be into it if I wasn't the host. Check it out at soundtalentmedia.com.